Well, our last session of the day, but certainly not the least, and I'm really excited for this one. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'd like you to meet Octav. Octav is the video director at Adore Me, and today he's going to be talking about the rise of the short form video and its transformation in terms of their digital asset management workflows and needs. Sorry, a little bit of a cough and tickle today. Of all days, of course, right? Once again, join us in the Q&A, add into the chat. This is going to be a pretty dynamic presentation. I'm really excited about this one. Octav, what a great setup you got there. Why don't we take over and show? Let's talk a little bit about Adore Me and video.
Thank you, Neil, and hello, everyone. As Neil mentioned, today we'll talk about the complexities of dealing with lots of short-form video content. And I think Adore Me as a company is pretty much very well positioned to have these types of difficulties and having to solve them. So for a quick introduction, my name is Octav. My background is in all things related to video. I went to film school, studied video editing and animation. I specialized in visual effects. I've worked in video production and post-production. And currently, as Neil said, I'm the director of video content at Adore Me. Now, what exactly is Adore Me? We are an intimates e-commerce offering a variety of styles, categories, and sizes to fit every woman. So we've been in business since 2012, so about 11 years. And our vision is to be a pioneer for change within the fashion industry by focusing on inclusivity and sustainability. And as I mentioned before, I think due to the fact that we're an online business that operates in the space that's currently dominated by TikTok and by fashion influencers, we were perfectly positioned to have to deal with precisely what we're talking about today, which is short form video. So I joined Adore Me in 2015, and at the time the brand was just a few years old and was just starting to ramp up video content. Back then, I would say the quality of our video content was quite high. We had good videos, but very few of them. The quantity was modest at best. We had just created 3 or maybe 4 broadcast television commercials, which we had repurposed to different platforms in about 20 variations. We had a few social media videos, and that number was slowly increasing each month because we had a new shoot every few months, but it was nothing extreme. And we also had some internal videos that we were using for training and for in-house events. So back then, if you wanted to find a video, the search process was pretty much what I like to call offline. That means that you had to get up from your desk, come over to mine, and ask me for the video. And then I would access our amazing state-of-the-art asset management tool at the time, which looked like this. And it's basically, this is a screenshot of the folder system that I had on my computer. So jokes aside, this was obviously not scalable. And I discovered that the hard way, the very hard way. It wasn't long before everything got a lot more complex. And the company was growing, so it wasn't just the number of employees at Adore Me that increased, but also our video assets. And if I take the example of television creatives, which I've mentioned before, well, back then we started to become very invested in testing for the best solution for TV. So we were trying to create many different concepts and seeing how they perform. Around that time, we started to also have multiple shoots each month. So what was initially 3 or 4 TV spots quickly became 100. And then each of those had versions, 10 or 20 different versions. All of them we had to keep track of, or better said, I had to keep track of. And it wasn't just the TV spots. Everything was growing pretty much. So we actually started to have thousands of videos everywhere. We were creating videos and animations for online advertising, for example. And for those, we had a similar approach to the one for TV creatives, which was to test and test and test as many concepts as possible. Another example is with the loads of organic social media videos that we started to have month after month. Then there's the topic of influencers and user-generated content. And in a few slides, I'll actually dive deeper on this topic with a short case study of how exactly we dealt with this one with the influencer content. Nowadays, we also have a lot of internal videos, which we use for training or for various events and presentations. And also, in the last few years, we implemented videos on the website, which has been going great, but obviously it adds to the number of content we have. We have videos on the homepage, in categories, videos in product pages, in the catalog. We also have replays from our live stream shopping events, which is an initiative that started about 1.5 years ago. So all of these are adding up. Another example is in our stores. Adore Me is primarily an online brand, but we also have a number of stores across the US. And those stores have some videos, some screens where we post videos, and those change every month or maybe multiple times per month. So that's also a place where we had a lot of content that we had to take care of it. These days, I would say we have hundreds of videos on the website, thousands of social videos, all of those further divided into in-house and influencer-generated content. And it's actually constantly growing because we also have a robust shooting schedule. We have the in-house shoots happening right here in our office. We have influencers that are producing the videos for us, professional video shoots, recordings of the live events, like I said, and so on. So it's quite a lot of content for a relatively small team. And most of this content is actually short form video. Now, it's obviously not just our brand that's experiencing this. Short form video is taking over across the board. And it's not even a new topic. It's we can trace it back, I guess, all the way to the year 2000s, when brands were experimenting with, for example, a 1-second TV spot or things like that. But it really grew recently with platforms like TikTok that is really pushing this. And then it exploded during the pandemic, when all of us were kind of stuck at home, nothing else to do than just watch short videos. So I did a quick search using the term short form video, and I got tons of headlines like this: the popularity, the year of short form video, it's now, it's the future, revolution, the growing impact, and so on and so forth. So it's basically not just a thing for now, but we have to get used to it, and we have to learn how to deal with them, because as brands, we're going to be creating more and more of those. So honestly, this whole thing is happening for good reason. First of all, short form video is mobile friendly. While attention spans are continuously dropping, at the same time, mobile phone usage is increasing. And those videos are perfect for being consumed on the go, wherever you are. And since a lot of them are created for sound off, it's further increasing the places where you can watch them. Basically, short form videos are an easy way to consume content, and everyone likes easy. Another reason is they're attention grabbing. They're done with quick edits. You're cutting out all the fluff, and they use catchy music and graphics. They are shareable. A lot of social platforms, I would say all of them actually, have embraced the format, and it's making it easier than ever to share. And this in turn, it's a self-sustaining loop, because creators know that it's easy to have their content go viral, so it encourages more of them to create even more content. And it's also affordable to produce. Pretty much anyone with a phone can create those, and the platforms are making it easier and easier to create content. So quantity is huge, and then brands, they find it easier to participate regardless of their budgets. And with faster internet speeds, like I've mentioned, we've done, brands are implementing short videos on their websites, everywhere on their websites, basically. And last but not least, the main reason, I would say, the biggest reason is also because it's being pushed by all the giants in social media. Every single platform is making it easier than ever to create and to view those short videos. And they're also tweaking their algorithms to prioritize this type of content. So we'll move to the case study, but before we go there, I want to clarify what we're actually talking about. In my opinion, and maybe you disagree, I'd be happy to hear, but in my opinion, when it comes to VAM or video asset management, there's two different needs. One need is dealing with the raw footage, the one that comes from the shoot. And this means storing the footage coming from there. This means making it accessible to the editor or editors. And it requires a huge amount of storage, huge amount of bandwidth as well. And in an ideal world, it should also be accessible remotely, although that's not the biggest thing for this. So this topic, our solution is having a network attached storage, a NAS. We have one of this in our office. There are other solutions for this, but we found that we needed the speed that you get from connecting directly to one of those for the raw footage. And the other need is for the finished video assets, which is completely different. These videos, they're smaller, obviously, but they must be easily accessible by anyone in the company. Anyone that wants to use them, they should be able to find them. They require robust metadata to improve findability. They have higher storage needs than when it comes to photo, for example, or other types of files, but it's not a big difference. It's manageable. And our solution for this involves multiple tools and multiple processes, but I would say the backbone is, like many other e-commerces out there, it's a third-party DAM vendor. And this right here is a screenshot of the one that we use. So we're talking about the thing on the right, the finished video assets, and that's also the case study. All right, so on to the case study. I told you earlier how Adore Me is an e-commerce. Well, this means that an important part of our marketing strategy is to work with influencers and content creators. It's great for all the content. It's an easier way to also generate more and more interesting video pieces. And we wanted to work with as many as we could in as easy a way as possible. And as all things, it started small. It was very manual at the beginning. And also one big issue, by manual, I mean, we had a team in-house that would reach out to various influencers and ask them if they wanted to collaborate. One big issue we had working like this was the need to manually tag each of those videos whenever we would upload them to the DAM. In order to make them findable, they had to receive manual tags, manual metadata. And eventually it actually grew, and it grew into this solution that I'm talking about today, which works quite well for us. So in order to make it easier to work with influencers, those that create content for us, our in-house tech team built a platform that's called Adore Me Creators. So I'll try to explain quickly how it works so you have some context. The idea is, if you're an influencer, you go on creators.adoreme.com, you find a campaign that fits you. We post those campaigns all the time. If you're accepted, you receive a gift card to order products, and then you create content around those products and post it on your social media But very important, you also send this content back to us so we can use it in our marketing campaigns. So if we were to look at the flow from the beginning, an influencer signs up, they join a specific campaign, they film the content, and then they upload the file to the creator's platform, which is a simple drag and drop. So what you see here on the right is a screenshot of actually how it looks like for the creator once they're done with that. And the whole process is quite frictionless. It was designed to involve as few interactions as possible. And I would say it's a user-friendly interface as well, which is a big thing. So our in-house team then has access to the content through the admin. And these are two screenshots, or this is a GIF, but screenshots of the admin from creators. On top of that, there's all the details that the influencer filled out when they signed up, such as the Instagram handle, TikTok, and there's a lot of others that I did not include here for obvious reasons. And importantly, the campaign that you applied to, it also has other details that we store, and all of this information is now metadata that is directly associated with the short video that you uploaded. So basically, at this stage, we have a video that's almost perfectly tagged, and it was all generated as part of the normal process. And so far, there's been no manual tagging at all. So what follows is pretty much the only manual step after this, which is to verify the video, which has to be done by someone in our team. And then if approved, to move it to our digital asset management tool. Remember, at this stage, the video content, it's still stored only in the admin of our influencers tool, the Adore Me creators. And while this is great for the purpose of working with influencers and making it as automatic as we can, it wouldn't be too good as a DAM, as a digital asset management tool for the entire business, for the entirety of Adore Me. So like most others, as I mentioned, we use a third-party DAM that stores all of our content, including all the product photography. So in order to move it there, someone from our team checks and then they approve the video. And then what they have to do is add the product name and the ID code. This particular step, eventually, we'd love to have it be solved by system where AI recognizes and automatically tags the correct product. We are not there yet, but I know the industry is definitely moving in that direction, and there's going to be solutions for this very soon, and we're extremely excited about this. There was a panel earlier specifically about AI, and I found it super interesting. I can't wait for the future to be here. But nevertheless, even with the current solution that we have, normally this step of tagging the product and on top of the product, tagging it with the code. This is called an Adore Me ID code. That's how we call it. And it's basically a code specific for the product. If they were to find this one, it would be a time-consuming step because it would mean checking our other internal tool that's designed for our products catalog. And the team, however, has everything integrated. So we can use a simple search. They just search for the first few letters of the product name, and it automatically comes with the associated Adore Me ID code. And finally, there's no need to download the file and then upload it to the DAM. It's automatically ingested at this stage into the DAM with the correct file name and with all the metadata. We also have a naming structure to keep things organized. And then we associate various metadata tags, such as the influencer name, the platform that it was created. This, by the way, is a screenshot from how it looks like once it gets to our DAM with all the associated metadata, the name here at the top, the asset type, the usage rights, the month and the year for the particular product, obviously the product name, the Adore Me ID, product type, main product color. Now, all of this, why does this matter? Well, the file is now discoverable by any team member through a variety of methods. It's extremely important for us because this type of video content, it doesn't have a predetermined placement. Some of it will go to our social media channels. Some of them are going to our media buying team, and they're going to become online adverts. Some go on the website, for example. And many times we have a situation when a particular video, if it starts to perform well for one of our teams, other teams want to use it as well. So to find it, they don't have to come to my desk and ask for it like it used to be many years ago. They can use a simple search, like in this example here, where I did a search for the name of the campaign, which is Get Ready to Say I Do. Or they can use filters to find it. I'm aware this is nothing new for everyone listening, most probably, but it's very good for us and it's very good for these types of videos because there's so many of them. They're very short. This type of content, we can't have a meeting every day or every other day to present it to the team, show them everything that has been created, and then tell them which ones to use and so on. It's absolutely crucial that you have this type of discovery where team members can just go and they look for what they need and everything is in there. And it would not happen without automation. If everything had to be done manually and you needed tens of people doing this all the time, that would be a huge, huge issue. So yeah, filters, like I said, this example where I've used a filter for model, video, 2023, vertical, and November. And that's our video right there, the second one. And this is actually an example where it would be discovered by team members without knowing in advance what they're looking for, which is, again, crucial, as I said. It also helps our internal teams find other assets easily. They can search for similar assets based on the metadata. And it's a very useful tool for asset discovery, again, when you're not looking for something specific. So to conclude, I will say that while we found solutions for some use cases of short-form video management, I don't think we're there yet, and there's still a lot of work to do. If we could have the ideal video asset management, the solution for us would contain 4 pillars: better user interface and experience, automatic tagging, speed, and seamless integration. And what I mean by each of those is, for better UI UX, it would mean an intuitive design that reduces or completely eliminates the need for onboarding, which is always a big problem. Having AI tagging, AI-assisted search, and multi-frame indexing and search, which would be absolutely huge to speed things up. On this topic, actually, we have an issue right now of other types of video content where we would love to have them on the DAM, and we don't currently because we don't have enough people working on tagging them. So any sort of automation is going to ensure that that content goes where it needs to go. Also, in terms of speed, getting to instant encoding and processing. Some tools out there, they just take forever, and that's also a problem. And it's a bigger problem. Like, it wouldn't be such a big problem if you have a 10-minute video. You've done it. It took forever to edit it, to prepare it. Everyone knows it's coming. And then waiting 10 minutes or half an hour for it to process, to get encoded on the platform, it's not a big deal. But when you have a video like this coming every 10 minutes and you need to put it up there and then you need to share, or when you do edits of those particular short form videos and you're trying to show them to other members, it's not okay, and it's not scalable if you spend 2 minutes editing a video and then wait 5 minutes for it to be processed on the DAM platform. Maybe a solution would be to upload them while it's exporting somehow. Maybe editing inside the DAM would also solve some of these very small edits that would need to be done if you don't have to go into a proper editing platform. And also seamless integration with platforms. What I mean by this is integrating not just with social media platforms, but also with custom websites and facilitating robust tracking, analytics, and the data in general. Now, I'm aware that many of those already exist in various tools out there. Some of them we already have access to, but even this one, for example, we can integrate many things with our website and have it appear, and we've done for some of them, but it's not quick, takes forever, takes a lot of people, many teams. Having it faster, it's related basically to the speed that I talked before. It will be a game changer. So those things, if we had them, I think would take things to the next level. And that's what I had. Thank you.
Well, Octav, what an interesting presentation today. So thank you very much for sharing with us today. On a couple of reasons why, right? One is I love the honesty about, hey, these are things that we still need and we're not there yet. But at the same time, and for those who know me in the Henry Stewart hemisphere, one of the things that we specialize in is managing video. And what's really interesting about it is how well you've actually tackled the influencer or user generated video, which most people have not. So you've actually gone at the other way. In my opinion, you've actually dealt with the harder part first. All those other things that you're talking about, I think, are a little bit easier to do. But you've actually done the hard part first, which is figure out a way to bring it in as seamlessly as possible, and having them do it without you having to have a major lift with it. And it's very clear that influencer market is so incredibly important to your marketing effort as well. So kudos to that. Is that something that you all built internally? Did you build that kind of a process?
Not me specifically, but yeah, we do have an in-house, relatively big in-house tech team. We like to think of ourselves as both a lingerie company and a tech company sometimes. So yeah, we're definitely proud about what we do on the tech side. And we have a lot of tools like this that we're creating. Right now, for example, I'm discussing with the team that built this tool that I mentioned, the creators one, and trying to apply some of that automation that they have, which you are right, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's been done before in various ways for digital asset management, but bringing that to other types of content that we have, so that we make sure that they do end up on the dam with the proper tagging is going to be important. So we're trying to implement it with an in-house solution again.
Yeah, it's very fascinating you've done with that. So thank you so much today for joining us today and showing us what Adore Me has been up to lately for all of it. On that note, we're getting close to the end of the day here. So Octav, thank you for joining me. I'm just going to wrap this up by saying what a great way to end, right? So some really future thinking about it. We talked a lot about governance. We talked about AI today. We've talked about even, the basic stuffs around what's the difference between digital stewardship and digital strategy. How do we go through all of this? All of the same challenges that are applied to us today. Well, thank you to Henry Stewart. Thank you to our sponsors today for joining us on this journey with CPG and retail. We appreciate all of the time together. All of these should be available on YouTube as well in the near future. And thank you everybody who stayed on with us during our entire day. And have a great day. Tomorrow is healthcare, hosted by David Lipsey. And I hope a whole bunch of you get to enjoy those presentations as well tomorrow. Thank you very much and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.